Ori and the Blind Forest is a game about morality and ethics. The human mind can juggle between the fight between morals, the fight between what's right and what's wrong. Tough decisions made throughout our lives can dictate how we see certain things, and realizing those actions can ultimately lead to who we are and what we become. I think Ori and the Blind Forest is able to show that morality is something that plays a part of life, no matter what or who you may be. It's tale of one's moral compass, the tale of Ori and how one's morals can change the course of not only your life, but of the others around you. But hello, I hope you are all doing very well. If it wasn't obvious enough today, I want to talk about 2015's critically acclaimed Ori and the Blind Forest. Developed by Moon Studios, this Metroidvania adventure is centered around the life of Ori in the forest, as well as the other inhabitants of the forest. This game actually just passed its 10th anniversary of being released, and of course with how late I am with experiencing games for the first time, I thought it was just a nice coincidence for me to finish the game a day after its 10-year anniversary. So yeah, you heard that right. This was just like a lot of the games on my channel, my first time experiencing Ori and the Blind Forest. As much as I can reflect on how I managed to miss on this game for about a decade, I'd rather talk about the game itself. Ori and the Blind Forest is as much charming as it is very deep. Its charming nature and vibrant and well-illustrated areas do a fantastic job at setting us up for the game's darker theme and tones. In this video, I want to give my own take on Ori, a story summary of the game with my thoughts, and then after I want to dive deep into what makes this game's story special, trying to capture the game's themes and then ending on what I took from this game's message. We've got a lot to discuss, so if you're interested in my take on Ori and the Blind Forest, then you'll fit right in. But with all of that finally out of the way now, let's dive deep into Ori and the Blind Forest. The game starts off with this narration. Speaking in the past tense, we are told of a tale of the past. As we can see, it's about the day that Ori was lost. As Ori's orb escapes the spirit tree, we then take control of Naru, this unknown species who notices the light and wants to see what it is. Come to find out that the light that fell from the tree was none other than Ori. Naru takes in Ori, essentially becoming its foster mother. We see the bond of Naru and Ori develop in real time. We understand the value and power of these bonds a mother can have with their child, turning regular day activities into something more. Whilst they grow the bond of a mother and child, the spirit tree where Ori came from calls out, hoping to reunite with Ori once more. Naru as a mother figure runs to take Ori and protect it, not knowing this would be a detrimental turn of events. The world is withering away. The happy faces we got to know from our two characters is no more. A look of dread rests on the face of Naru. The forest they grew to know was a shell of itself. The color, the atmosphere, the soul was ripped right out of it. Naru herself showing a loss of life as well. Not even able to gather food sources anymore. But as a mother figure, she still puts her child first. This moment is one of the game's first important signs of morality. The main thing I took from this game was the approach to morality. Essentially what morality is the idea of deciphering what's right or wrong. This is a very objective opinion as we come to learn, but the moment of Naru giving the last bit of food she had to her Ori was a moment of good morals. The morality is set within the first 15 minutes of the game. It's something that gets more intricate as we go on, but this intro scene is immensely important to the game's overarching narrative. We now take control of Ori. The sky is ominous. The world doesn't even feel like home anymore. We go on to get a bit of food to bring back to our home, as we walk the same path we once did before, reminiscing of our times when the world was healthy, the time we spent with Naru. But one of the game's most emotional moments then happened. Ori was a foster once again. With no reason to stay in that place anymore, with the loss of the only reason she was there in the first place, Ori roams in search of the light. Ori roams, her life force growing weaker and weaker by the moment. As she draws her last breath, a miracle happens. And that is the intro to Ori. Now, I spent a lot more time on the intro section than expected, but after playing the game and understanding the message, I couldn't help but appreciate this section of the game even more than I did before. The game wasted no time setting the tone with its morality, showing us morally what's right. Naru taking in alone Ori and even giving up her life so Ori can activate the spirit tree once more. Without Naru's morals, the world would have been perished, but it's not. It's given Ori a chance to really figure out what's really going on. As Ori is once revived from the spirit tree, we then set off on our own journey. We eventually then run into Sane. Sane is the light in the eyes of the spirit tree and will be our companion moving forward on our journey. As we go on our journey to revive the spirit tree, we notice the land is filled with these descendants of the darkness. The colorful and lively land we once knew was gone. Passing by the memorials of the spirits before the land was tormented, learning who they were and what they fought for. It's a bitter pill to swallow. We're here today from the work of Naru. Her morals were to protect her child, and she did just that. Her mortality was something we want to keep pushing ourselves. We want to save this land and the spirits lost. We want to follow in Naru's footsteps. One of the most important things to note is that Ori was seeing through Naru's eyes. She saw how Naru approached life, and it inspires Ori to have those same morals. But moving on with our journey, we keep scaling the forest, eventually getting to the spirit tree. We then uncovered what really happened. As you can see, the cutscene shows the downfall of the land, and the game's antagonist, Kuro. Without knowing why Kuro did what it did, we understand our morals don't align. Kuro essentially single-handedly caused the downfall of the world, and it's our job to activate the 3 sections of the map to finally unlock the spirit tree once more. What we need are the terrain veins for each area, starting with the water vein. We can use it to cleanse the land's water of the darkness so the land can have clean water once again. But we run into a bit of issues. We meet Gummo, a rare survivor in this wretched land, but it appears they gave into this darkness and is trying to keep us from the water vein. After going through all the area's traps, we finally catch up to Gummo, but he's unfortunately stuck. But as we are ones of good morals, we decide to help him out. Another moment of showing morality. We're going to skip ahead a bit as the next part of the game is a lot of gameplay, but I want to get to more moments of morality in the story. After freeing the water and unlocking one of the 3 seals, we head to the Misty Woods and search for another one of the veins. We end up finding the Gunmo seal. We then head off to the Forlorn Ruins to save another part of the land. When we enter the Forlorn Ruins, however, it's devastating to say the least. Frozen to death are a bunch of what it looks like to be creatures of the Gummo's kind. We then scale to the end of the dungeon, but what we didn't know is that Gummo was following us this entire time, which of course prompted him to see the rest of his kind passed away in the ice. He follows in even deeper and eventually hears a conversation between Ori and Sane, and it clicked something inside of him. He wanted to do what was right. In that moment, it seemed as though morality was tipping in our favor. The game was showing us that the creatures of the land were all fighting for what they thought was right. But of course, that also plays into the game's biggest showing of morality in my opinion, the backstory of Kuro. As we just escape the ruins, we then enter her nest. Touching that egg then shows us the most important cutscene of the game. This was one of the most jarring and biggest turn of events for the game for a multitude of reasons. One is that we were made to believe that Kuro was a villain just for the POV we were given from previous cutscenes. Two is that Kuro was a mother just like Naru was, both wanting to just protect the children they hold dear. And three is that this turns our whole idea of morality right around. Our original POV was made to believe that Kuro's morals were all wrong, but in reality she was just doing what she thought was right. Can you even blame her? The light is what took her children away from her. Now she's doing all she can to protect the last one she has left. After narrowly escaping death once again, we are now in the home stretch of the game. With just needing one more area to save, we can finally bring life to the land once more. And we do just that. We scale the Sorrow Pass and eventually get our last piece to unlock the final area of the game. But something happens after unlocking the final piece. Let's take a look. A miracle happens. Gummo went all the way back out to help Naru, from him being considered by the darkness to now helping us. His morals are something to be admired, and it's another instance of the game showing us growth. Everything is seeming to come together now, with us now needing only one more area to save and the land will be back to what we knew it to be. The Haru Passage, the game's final area. Just as before we enter and scale the area, we manage to get away with the element of warmth, but not before being met one last time by Kuro. She chases us endlessly, and eventually catches us. With Ori running out of time and Kuro about to get her revenge, we get one last miracle. Naru. She chased us all the way here, and before even thinking about anything else, she goes to Ori. Ori was the most precious thing to her. She watched Ori grow up, she raised Ori. This is a bond only a mother and child could understand. Kuro then gazes, and in a sudden turn of events, her true morals come out. All Kuro wanted was to get revenge for her children that were taken away from her. It blinded her with a nasty rage. She didn't care about anything else. But in the moment of seeing the connection between Naru and Ori, it changed her. She thought about her own child that she still has and she wants it to live. but there's only one way for that to happen. As the darkness is almost about to take over the land for good, Kuro acts in an instant, taking sane and doing the most moral act one can do. Take a look. Mortality is the difference between what is right and what's wrong. Seeing two sides of the same situation can lead you to maybe questioning your own moral choices at times. Kuro, I believe, had that same thought. She as a mother understood the bond she would be taking away from others. That's not who she was. She was a caring mother just like Naru, but she was dealt a terrible card and couldn't deal with it properly. It caused her to decimate the land that they all share. Kuro never wanted that. And in the end, she chose morally what she thought was right to do, saving the land and letting her child live on. I by no means expected to fall in love with this game as much as I did. The layers I'm able to peel back on the story of Ori, Kuro, and the others, it's games like this that make me cherish video games. Being able to be taught lessons and bringing them into everyday life, it's a beautiful thing. Ori and the Blind Forest told a tale of morality, the tale of choosing what you think is right for you and the others around you. Thank you for those who recommended this game. I had a blast enjoying the story. And thank you to whoever made it to the end of the video, it really means the world to me. If you enjoyed, why not like and subscribe? I make analysis videos just like this one on a ton of different games, so if you enjoyed this, then you'll fit right in here. But that's all for me. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and goodbye.